When an overt narcissist disrespects you, you're able to recognize it because they do so by putting you down, using your past against you, pointing out flaws that may not exist, or criticizing you unnecessarily. Their disrespect is recognizable and you do not blame yourself. But when a covert narcissist does the same, you are left bamboozled in a jeopardy because you cannot recognize what bit you, yet you feel the impact of that venom in your body. You know something is wrong, yet you do not know where it came from, why you feel this way, since the covert narcissist hides him or herself underneath the layers of victimhood or being altruistic, helpful, or having all those good intentions towards you. Recognizing how a covert narcissist disrespects you is extremely important because when you're in such relationship, you feel it's all your fault, yet the reality is different. Let's learn how to do that in today's episode. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Today's episode is all about learning 3 ways a covert narcissist subtly disrespects you without you knowing what they are doing. If that sounds interesting enough and you're eager to learn more with me, please make sure to subscribe because your subscription helps spread awareness about narcissistic abuse. The first form of disrespect happens during conversations with a covert narcissist. They might ask an open-ended question and may seem genuinely interested in knowing your opinions or the answers. They might ask you about a situation with an intention of garnering supply from you. But if your answers are not focused on them, if you're not talking about them, if you're not inflating their ego, they subtly, covertly abandon you and you feel so taken aback. They start yawning without a reason and do that continuously until you feel like you are doing something terribly wrong, your answers are inappropriate, you are being too vague, you are boring them, or that you do not have much to say. The crazy thing is, they may start a conversation with someone else in the middle of the conversation they are having with you. They may ask someone else about something entirely different, and you'll be left talking with nobody, with the wall, because they are not even looking at you. They have closed off, they have shut themselves down, and they have abandoned you, given this message: you are not important, I'm not going to pay attention to you, I don't care what you have to say, it's not about me, so here I discard you. That is extremely disrespectful. And why is it so subtle? Because most people feel really angry, yet they do not know what happened for them to feel such a strong emotional reaction. Because the narcissist didn't shout, didn't disrespect them overtly, didn't say anything bad. So what is the reason? Why am I feeling this way? With that kind of doubt in your mind, you'll then try to search a room for someone else to shift to so that you can complete the conversation and deal with the discomfort that you're feeling. And if you do not find anyone, you just suddenly become silent. I have seen this happening so many times. My mother used to do that all the time with people that would visit us occasionally or with her own relatives. She would seem genuinely interested in knowing about their life, and when they would start talking, naturally, it was never about her because it wasn't supposed to be about her. So she would abandon them and then would look at me and ask me about random stuff, let's say about my homework, my school, and then they would be left talking. They would look at me, I'd look at them as if telling them, I'm sorry, I don't know what else to do, I don't know why it happened, but you just have to cut it short. While abandoning you, a covert narcissist may also display some kind of distress in their body, some weird unrest. They may start stretching themselves, scratching their body, moving side to side, or looking at their nails, doing stuff that clearly shows they're not interested in anything that you are sharing with them. You need to understand if the things that you're saying are not glorifying the victimhood of a covert narcissist, or if they are not putting a covert narcissist on a pedestal. It irks them, it kills them, it's their kryptonite. They want to run away from it. It's like fire trying to run away from water. That's why this crazy abandonment, this crazy unexplainable behavior, it's got nothing to do with who you are, what you have to say, and how you are presenting yourself. Before we move to number 2, I have a question for you. Have you experienced something like this in your relationship with a narcissist? If yes, drop your experiences in the comments below and help other survivors feel validated and seen in their journey of healing and recovery. Disrespect type 2. Every time you put in an effort to make them happy, you are made to feel inadequate, wrong, or incompatible. Let's say it is the birthday of the narcissist who you are connected with. Your father, your wife, your husband, it doesn't matter. And you plan to give them a surprise party. You buy them a gift. Now, this gift is supposed to be a surprise, so you naturally won't ask them. But when you give it to them, instead of just being full of joy and being appreciative and thankful, what do instead? They have this poker face going on, and with nothing but disappointment in their expressions, and they may say something along the lines of, yeah, it's fine, but I don't like it. You should have at least asked me before getting this gift. I have told you so many times, our choices do not match. I'm a different person than you, and I kind of like it, but I don't need it, so you can keep it. At the same time, I do acknowledge that some people do not like surprises and they like to choose their gifts. But at the same time, if your partner is putting in so many efforts in arranging everything and they give you a gift, you don't like it, you want them to replace it or get you something that you do like, there are healthy ways of expressing that. You could say something along the lines of, I truly appreciate everything that you have done for me. But can we replace this? I don't want this thing this year. I would rather get that thing. So I would really like it if you will be able to arrange that for me. A covert narcissist does none of that. In fact, they act in ways that make you feel so small in yourself. They may put on that victim face continuously and everybody goes and asks them, what's wrong? Are you okay? Don't you feel happy because this arrangement looks quite good? Is something missing? Is something going on between you and your son, your husband, your wife? What's happening? Can we help? So they don't fail, even on this occasion, to garner all that attention in a negative way. They do not care about all the money, all the efforts, everything that you have put into arranging the things and bringing this party to life. No, it has to be about them, and that makes you feel so disgraced. You feel unseen and you start questioning your choices because the narcissist has already convinced you you are inherently wrong. There is something lacking in you, and that behavior of theirs reinforces the same idea, the same belief, the same feeling. Instead of seeing them for who they are, you start catering to their needs. You start uplifting their ego because deep down you think you are the monster. You have victimized them. You have caused them all this pain. Out of your guilt and a sense of obligation, you start sacrificing yourself. You start doing more, but nothing works since there is this bottomless pit inside a narcissist that never gets filled. Disrespect number 3. They intentionally let you make mistakes only to laugh at them later. Let's say you are cooking something and you do not know the recipe of the thing that you're cooking, but the narcissist does know. They know how to properly do that. They watch you making these mistakes, yet they don't say anything at all. They just keep mum, and when you are done and when you present the dish later, they give you those side laughs and they smile underneath, subtly disrespect you, make fun of your skills when they could have been of a great help and a big guidance. Instead of choosing to be there for you, they choose to be against you. They may ask you favors, they may ask you to do something for them, only to disrespect you later. Because once you're done with that thing and you give it to them, you offer them, you show it to them, they may not openly criticize it or give you any feedback. You would see them smiling or laughing in ways that don't feel or look appropriate, yet you kind of see how they're hinting at the lack of something or how they're putting it down, yet they're not expressing in words. If you were to point that out, you would be called crazy, because they're not saying anything bad. It's you who must be feeling it all. It's you who is insecure, who is too sensitive, who is making things up, when in reality they are definitely giving you deep ego injuries. Just because their abuse cannot be proven does not necessarily mean it doesn't exist. I've heard many people saying, well, I can't prove it. You don't have to. Your body tells you everything. You feel the impact in there. You feel those subtle jabs, those small cuts. Death by 1,000 cuts is exactly what is applicable to covert narcissistic abuse. They also use plausible deniability against you. You know something is going on, but you can't prove it. And since you can't prove it, it doesn't exist. But what does exist is your anger, your resentment, your sacred rage, your righteous rage. Follow that. That will show you the path. They might use that against you to make it seem like you're the perpetrator, you're the abuser, the oppressor. You're blaming them for things they do not know about, they don't have a clue about, but you know deep down what they have done. And that is more than enough for you to know what to do next, which is go no contact, cut them off completely. Do not give them the satisfaction of seeing you getting impacted by their mind games. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for staying with me. I'll talk with you in the next one. Until then, let the healing begin and continue.